thank you everyone for joining, for making the time. Hopefully you can see my screen with the presentation. So we're going to be talking today about Kotlin debugging, but the debugging of your Kotlin apps directly in your Android Studio or IntelliJ, and of course, introducing how you can do that with the new Koin IDE plugin and the rest of the Godzilla platform. I'm Miguel, part of the Godzilla team running product marketing, and I'll be presenting today with Arnaud, that is the co-founder of Godzilla, and probably you know him as the creator of the Koin project. How are you doing, Arnaud?
I'm fine. It's a great session today. Hope people will enjoy.
Perfect. So let's go. And of course, I will try to go to spend the majority of the time on a live demo. I just wanted to share with you a little bit the agenda and provide some context, and also share with you that please, if you have any question, don't hesitate to drop it right away in the chat, and then we'll make some time at the end for taking all the questions. Okay, so here's the agenda for today. So I'm going to start by providing a little bit of context of why we decided to build this new tool for debugging. Just after, Arnaud is going to describe what are the kind of issues that the tool is able to automatically detect right in the IDE. And then we're going to move to the live demo. The live demo is going to be divided in two parts. One in which Arnaud is going to be demonstrating how those issues are detected and how we can also do root cause analysis of those issues using an Android application that probably most of you already know, the Now in Android application. And then I'm going to also, my side, illustrate how you can do the same thing using a KMP app. You know that at Koin, we are supporting KMP from the very beginning. So, of course, we wanted that tooling also to work on KMP apps. And as I mentioned at the end, we're going to save some time for Q&A and some closing remarks. Okay, so let's start. I wanted to start this session today by providing some information about the kind of discussion that we have been having those days with Koin developers. So from you, that helped us realize that we needed to build something in addition to what we already have with the Koin framework. So we had different discussions, and we do that all the time to get feedback of what things needs potentially to be improved. What are the things also that you like? And over those discussions with a lot of Koin developers, we end up also chatting about debugging. And we realized that debugging Kotlin apps and also SDK libraries was painful for a lot of people. So I wanted to start by sharing what you told us, and hopefully that resonates for the other people that are joining. First of all, a lot of developers were telling us that it's hard today to identify in Kotlin apps issues that are related to complex multi-threading executions, and also issues that are related to what we call structural problems or complexity problems. So components that has a lot of dependencies and that potentially are not crashing your application today, but can be an issue for the future scalability and maintenance. So that was the first feedback collected. Second thing, a lot of you are already using some kind of tool for debugging, but usually you are not using the same tools depending if you are debugging in development or if you are debugging in production. No, so probably if you are using Android Studio, at some point you have tested Android Studio debugger, but of course that cannot be used in production for obvious reasons. Some of the people were reporting that they were using for production observability tools. So to name some of them, Firebase monitoring, Sentry, Embrace, Datadog, you name it. But also people were complaining that some of those tools are not really integrating well with the development environment. For example, your IDE. So it was not easy, to combine different tools during the whole development process. Feedback number 3 was about how actually developers were doing the root cause analysis of the issues. So, the big majority of you told us that that was doing basically by manual tracing. So when you at some point you had a feeling that an issue was happening in a particular component, I don't know, a view model. So you were using the different APIs to add manual tracing and try to get additional information using one of those observability tools, or just doing that full manually. And last topic was about the key focus. The majority of the feedback that we got is that the key priority is focusing on crashes and try to identify what is the cause of the crashes. So big majority of the Koin community is using Firebase Crashlytics for that. But when it comes to other kind of issues, performance issues related, as I mentioned, to the multi-threading, structural, other kind of issues that are not crashes, then it was a little bit more complicated for the different reasons that we just described before. So that's kind of the context that we wanted to highlight based on the discussions. And of course, that's what made us realize that we needed to build something better for helping you. And of course, focus on helping you to improve the Koin development. Okay, so this is kind of a user flow that we're going to be also demonstrating today with the different tooling that we have built around Koin. First of all, we decided that, and that's what you told us, that to really make sure that those debugging tools are used on a day-to-day basis, that needed to be something that is close to your IDE. So we have developed an IDE plugin for both Android Studio and IntelliJ, the Koin IDE plugin. Maybe some of you already tested. It has been in beta for the last couple of weeks. As soon as you have this plugin installed, you are going to start getting some configuration checks about potential, missing dependencies that otherwise you're going to be having those errors at runtime. If you decide afterwards, and we're going to see that during the demo, you want to start debugging those more complex issues, performance, multi-threading, so on, you can set up the Kotlin SDK. The Kotlin SDK is a really specialized SDK with a really slow footprint that really discusses with the Koin container to really focus on the essential data that is required for doing debugging of those issues. So you can set up this SDK, inside also the plugin, and then start collecting the data. And the idea here is that you can start using it when you are debugging your development build, solo or working with a team, up to you. Then you can iterate to try to identify as much of those issues while you are in development. And then when you decide to go into production, you can also continue to use exactly the same tooling and the same flow for your production builds. We know that there are some issues that are only going to appear in production, especially if they are related to some specific devices. But we wanted to have the same tooling from all the development process. Again, this is kind of trying to address all the different feedback that you share with us. Okay, before moving forward with the explanation of the issues and the demo, this is kind of some screenshots of how this tooling looks like. This is one of the key views of the Koin IDE plugin after you install it, and you're going to have a description of your configuration, your Koin configuration, so the modules, the components, the different dependencies. And by the way, you're also going to have automatically, the config checks that are going to prevent you if there is some missing dependency, as I mentioned. In the same plugin, so still in your Android Studio IntelliJ, you can have also a dedicated view of the issues, those issues that I was talking about, performance or structural issues for your application. And you can even have information about, how many impacted sessions are for that issue, or even the version of your application that are impacted. And from there, you can decide to go into a more user-friendly UI for doing the root cause analysis. For example, I don't know if you see here, but in this case, we have an issue with a view model that is blocking the main thread. So you can try to explore to see which component, in this case, with dependency, is the one that is, taking a long resolution. You will also provide some other kind of views that we're going to also be demonstrating today, in which you can immediately see that, of course, here you are not only blocking the main thread, but you're also blocking one of the other background threads. No? So this is what we're going to be demonstrating. Before that, I'm just going to switch over Arnaud, that he's going to explain the kind of issues that we're able to detect, and then we go through the demo.
Yeah, keep the slide on, Miguel.
Sure.
Okay. As Miguel begins to say, then the Koin IDE plugin is there to help you visualize all your configuration. And then from this, the interest in Kotlin is that to provide a developer tool for you. And as we are creating Koin and Kotlin and working around the dependency injection for Kotlin, then we understand data and we understand your issues, your daily issues in your architecture, in your performance. And with Koin, with Kotlin platform, then you can spot many interesting issues directly out of the box without you to instrument anything by hand. And on the screen here, you have three of the first issues we will look together. First is really startup issues, where finally is a classic issue in Android, where we understand at what time your first screen is appearing, and then we can detect what kind of component do you request before this your first screen, and then we can spot things if things are delaying or not. Then, for example, if you begin to have a splash screen and then trying to load things too much things around, we will spot things. Main threads performance are clearly space where you try to make resolution directly from the main thread, and you begin to block your main thread, which is super bad in Android or in mobile development currently. The main thread, then we try to detect if things are resolved, are taking time on this main thread, and then we are spotting this, then spotting the component that are responsible for that. The same for background performance. The main thread directly impact your customer, and then you see that people are blocked and they don't understand why, and the screen is freezed. Background performance is you are waiting for stuff and you don't know why. And finally, we can also spot that background loading are super slow, and in the same way we will look at that. Other kind of issues we can understand, because then Koin is fully open source and stay open source. What we do is then capturing, analyzing your structure, your architecture, and analyzing any spot, any failure that you may have. And then from the previous issues, then you have also dependency performance issues, which is problematic of giving a number of resolution you are resolving, how much your structure is performing. For example, you may have like clean architecture structure, you may have MVI, you may have many ways to articulate your application structure. Perhaps you are not running in a good way and you don't understand why. This is why we give you the keys directly to do that. Then dependency performance issue, child dependency performance issue is also something that we may spot as a little hanging fruit, where finally we find something that might cause you some root problem later. Then we will explain all the graph. We understand your structure. We understand your objects. We understand even we will see some memory allocations and complexity stuff. Lastly, what we call dependency complexity is about maintenance problem. Finally, what we can spot is that in terms of structure, you are requesting too much things, and then, for example, your application is resulting in a big ball of what we call big ball of mud. That means something that is requesting too much things, and then it will be super hard for you to continue to scale your development for that. Then one good point is that we can spot components that are complex or tied to be really complex, and will offer us, will block you in a middle term, will block you, will prevent you to really continue to develop. I believe this is time for demo. Then demo time is always a great thing. Hope I won't have too much demo effect. I can share my screen here. Just tell me if you can read easily Android Studio and the code we have. Yes, no. Let me double check things. Yeah, okay. Some thumbs up.
Yes.
Cool. Let's start from code and from Android Studio, place where we are daily working in with our lovely IDE. I have Know in Android, the Know in Android project migrated to Koin. You can find it easily online, and we will provide also links for that. I installed the Koin IDE plugin, the Koin plugin, to avoid restarting several times stuff, because then once you install a plugin, then you have to install it. But at least I will show you the process to log to your account, etc., and then activate an application. When you go to the marketplace, then when you go to plugin marketplace, you have plugins. You can go here in the marketplace and then request stuff like Koin, and you have Koin, of course, on the marketplace. See, then you can install it, and then it's downloading on your IDE, and then it's ready to go. Once you have that, you will have this right panel, and then you need an account to activate the plugin. The plugin is free, but you need an account because we have remote activated features for you that you may activate later. But the pure Koin features are fully local, and you can begin to play with that without having to connect the SDK for now. But you will see that it's quite super interesting to quickly connect your application to the SDK. Yeah, with the SDK. What I will do then, this is Know in Android. Let me check if I can run that. I will activate first. What we need to do is I will sign up with my account. Then it's my team account. You have to create your account. You can sign up, and then you will finally land it with the Koin IDE plugin successful authorized, and then your plugin is ready to go. Let me. No, yes, you see also this screen. Then, as Miguel began to describe you, we have several panes. You have those Koin icons that you can identify. You have your configuration directly under the hand, and then you can really navigate through everything you want, and then understand really if you miss something somewhere. And for example, here it's my entry point. We see that we spot the start Koin, the start Koin section, where I use my Android context, my app modules, etc. This is a regular Know in Android startup with Koin, and then I can really visualize and then move on other modules if I need, and then understand if there is something that is missing. For example, if I comment one DAO, I should have something. Yeah, you see that there is missing definitions here in my application. You see that we have warning. The good thing is that you see that the other pane we have is that this configuration issues is showing also where I'm missing my my definition, and you can go directly to your class and then see who is impacted, and then you have a wrap up for that. And that's pretty cool to help you navigate on that. And we have the version 1.0 of this plugin that is soon available. And you see that we have this configuration issue, and we will see together that we have also application issue. And then I don't show too much here right now, but you have a way to look at what the Codzilla platform found in terms of issues, and then you can connect, you can retrieve your data. Then you have your configuration. You can navigate into your code with that. We are. Did I miss something on the plugin? No. Then you need an account. Is free, and you can start playing with that. Then once, for example, I will run the Arnaud and Android application. Let's take. Of course, it's not. Yeah, I have my emulator running. Yeah, sorry, it's bit running. Once I will run for the first time the application, you will see what it looks like, and then now that I'm playing with the Koin IDE application, I would like to see other kind of issues we can spot for this application. That is don't let me. Yeah, we have it. This is a news player from Google, and then it's using Koin entirely. Then you can play, add topics. You can remove topics, save topics, etc. Then look at interest, etc., etc. Then the Koin ID plugin is scanning all my configuration. Then I can go to any kind of definition, and I can navigate to any kind of usage of Koin, etc. Then this is the local usage of the plugin. Back to what we can do now is that we can activate analytics for you, and then we can begin to understand more deeply what your application is doing. Then to do that, you need the current plugin will activate that with an one-click installation SDK here. You will see that we have a new pane here in the version we are currently deploying. That will just add one line here called analytics. For this, you need a Gradle dependency. Okay, that is the Koin Kotzilla SDK or SDK Cater 3 if you want some Cater 3 stuff. You just add Cater plugin, Koin plugin, Kotzilla. Pardon. Sorry, Koin plugin, Kotzilla plugin. Let me look at what we have. We have the Kotzilla plugin, okay, and we have the Gradle SDK here, Kotzilla SDK, and we are done. What we need to do also is two things. Is then we can add analytics functions to activate the data. Before that, what we need to do is connect the application. The plugin will do that for you directly inside the IDE, but I show you today what we currently have. Let me put that away. No, I can't. What we need, and then also what in terms of data we are using. Then what we do is we create an application with a name within your package ID. We need to understand if you are using debug or production application. That means are you using mapping file? And then beside that, we will give you what we have, a Kotzilla JSON file. It's a bit like the Firebase JSON file where you have all the properties and keys for your application. You just download it, add the current dependencies, and then on your start Koin section, you just add to need analytics, and you're done. And then you can send data, and we can analyze it for you. Then it's quite straightforward. Even the new plugin version we are deploying right now will help you activate that in one click. Let's go back here. Then you see I have my Kotzilla JSON file where I have one debug application. I can even have a release application. For example, I may have my debug session, debugging manually, etc. here. And then if I go to production, I have another key, and then I can have another board where I can filter the right information, and it's production data. In terms of data, then what we talk about? Then the Koin plugin is looking locally at your configuration, but then the SDK is running with your Koin instance, and then we are capturing your application data. That means classes mainly. This is mainly classes, your structure, and then we understand your structure, your usage, we spot, then we analyze your structure, and then we can go understanding if there is any issues around. To help us for the demo, because the Now in Android application is done by the Android Google team, and there is no big issues. It's not blocking everywhere, or there is no lag in the view model, this kind of stuff. What we have done with the team at Codzilla is that we begin to put some trap inside the application to provoke some real issues. Like we can delay at startup, we can block some performance, we can block resolution, background resolution, etc., etc. Then I will activate them all. It's a bit of code here where we say if you we can activate this, and then we are just delaying on a few times here. You see 6 seconds, 250 milliseconds, and we provoke some real lagging stuff to really see that in a perspective for us. The other stuff I will do is also update the version name that we can see that I'm creating new session. Then let's make our famous Gradle thing. Then you see that finally it just consists of one line of code inside your start Koin configuration. It replaces your logger. If you are using a logger, then you can delegate here the logger. Also to note that the Android analytics is also checking your UI analytics on fragment and activity, like a profiler, and is capturing all crashes like Crashlytics, but doesn't replace your crash reporter. That means what? That means that if you are using Crashlytics here, and we are using Crashlytics, we don't override Crashlytics. We get the crash to Codzilla platform, and we get the crash to Crashlytics, for example. Then if you are using Datadog, if you are using Sentry, it will be the same. We don't override the crash reporter. We are wrapping them and then delegating the right stuff. You see one line, and then you can activate analytics and then issues analyze. We then block a few. We will block a few things around on view model, startup time. You see, for example, I'm blocking the startup on create manually here, and then we will wait a few seconds. Then let's go. Let me find back my device. Yes, I put you there up. Okay, let's deploy. Then the SDK is on board. I have my Codzilla JSON with my key. The plugin, the Gradle Codzilla plugin is ready. Then I have everything to start, and my application is registered online. Then more than having this configuration visualization, you will see that we will be able to go to deep dive into sessions. You see that it's blocking. We have a big splash screen lag at the beginning, and yeah, you will see that we can find stuff. Then I can play a bit with the application. Open this. Yes, that was a good one. I jump out of the application. Okay. Right. Let me check in the logs. Then you see that we have Codzilla SDK running, and we have a session. Then that's fine. Let's open now, and something that will come soon in the plugin is that you will be able to open things directly here to jump to your session. On the Codzilla platform, when you have your application, it's really bothering. Can I remove that? No, don't click too much. Yeah, still seeing me. Okay. Oh no. Let's move on. You see that I have registered a session here, and this is what I played just in front of you. This is the recording of my session. You see, this is my emulator. And then we can look at what we played, and then there is a few things. Here, it's like in the Android profiler, you have a UI interaction. That means that, for example, we see that there is main activity created, started, resumed, etc. Then I rerun several times the stuff. This is why we see that. We have here a second graph that is about memory and instance object creation. This will be super interesting. You will see why. We understand your graph, we understand your architecture, then we understand where you are allocating too much things. And that's interesting. You see that we have thread graph, like all the multi-threading stuff. We can really spot where, for example, you see that I add some time here. Then in my For You view model, I spend some time. In a listenable worker, I spend some time. Then again in For You view model, I spend some time. You see, this is a session then where we have logs, we have metadata from Koin, and you can run through that. You can then locally, you have the thread, you have duration, you have the what, and then globally you have some tags where we find stuff that are issues and that are interesting for you to understand. And then, for example, we can take, for example, a view model. We take back to the listenable worker, but first example is the main activity view model that is starting. In this Now in Android application, we have two view models that are starting. We have a main activity view model, and we have then some compose UI, and then a new view model running. Then what we see is that my main activity view model has 4 dependencies, creating 2 new instances. Then you can read around, but then the first stuff is that we see that it's taking 250 milliseconds to run. That's really a lot. And then you can really open all your logs to understand really what is your graph and what are the state and how your graph has been used. That means that we create an instance, we create new dependencies, and we see that my view model activity is running against a new dependency here, user data repository, that is causing some time. And you see that by opening all the graph, then you can find the root cause of your lag here is that my main activity view model was lagging due to my user data repository that is also lagging around. Then to understand somehow how to all those components were used, were instanced, then also where it's lagging, you see that my dependency for the dependency that I have behind my activity view model is taking time, and then we know who is using that. And that's quite interesting. And then we can go, for example, in the code to see how we have done this, and we have created a big lag stub here. We block the thread, the creation constructor manually. You see that we are blocking this. In the same way, then we will see that we have several stuff that are causing problem. And for example, we have this For You view model. It's a view model that is creating topics that is having some dependency complexity and having main thread performance. That means it's blocking my main thread. It's blocking my main thread because it's taking 1 second to load. Then it's 1,000 milliseconds, 1,369. And then you see that my For You view model is really blocking, and we don't have other dependencies blocking. That means that the For You view model is lagging, and my structure is lagging at creation of this view model. Then we have several stuff to do here. The For You view model, if I show you where is it, we blocked a few times, where blocked a lot. But then that means this creation of For You view model is blocking. This could represent something we are doing at the construction, could be something we are doing with those stuff, also things that are creating at this time. This is why also you can understand that the time you see, it's about creation or resolution directly. You see how much time, for example, it takes for user repository to be retrieved by Koin is 0.069 milliseconds, then it's quite really impressive in terms of dependency. You have all the UI state. Then you don't have to dig yourself session by session, but this first session you can really debug, understand how your application is running, understand step by step where are you in terms of UI, for example, and then you can click on the UI and then go back where you want, etc., etc. Here, for example, I go back on the startup time. We see that we have a start performance problem. Why? Because the main activity has been, and we have seen the lag at the splash screen, has been shown really super lately. And then we point this main activity as the first start problem that we have. And we see that we have a background performance problem here. It's a work manager. It's a sync worker that is preloading some topics in background. And we have many issues around. We know that this sync worker is blocking the main thread, the background thread. It's even the thread, the WM task 1. We know who is it, what is it, and we can even understand if there is any lacking dependency that could really slow down any resolution or the execution. Then you can go like that. This is session list, but what you have is a dashboard of what you are executing for your application for the given version. You have current open crashes and current open issue, and you will see that on all the issue, then you have a wrap up of all your issues that occurred for your application. And this is where you begin to look at, because it's ranked in between the most impactful to the less impactful, to less impact. Then, for example, there is background thread performance, child performance, main thread performance blocking, and you see the number of occurred impacted sessions. And then I can, if I want to dig into the main thread problem, I look at my issue, I can close it, acknowledge it, I understand what class is it, what version we are impacting, since when, you have the date where it's open, a bit like Crashlytics, and you have a bit of description of why at Codzilla, in terms of structure, we spot this view model. It's because your view model resolved in more than 100 milliseconds. And then, for example, you can then explore your session, open a session, and then when you look at the session from this issue view, then you can open it, and then you can go directly where your issue open. And then you can really investigate, try to open your data and understand, okay, where was the problem and how is the structure, how is my DI state at this point. Then you have all the kind of issues that we can go around. I believe from there, then you can have either crashes. I was showing that either you can have, that's not stack traces, but we can have crashes with stack trace, like in Crashlytics. You can create your own business issue if you want to tag some. But then after that, you can really filter on closed issues, background issues. You can really filter also on the type of issues. For example, if I want to go to the main thread issue, then I can look at who is blocking, for example, this view model, and then look at my session, and then go back and debug in my resolution graph and begin to understand who was causing that, and then go back to my IDE. Thing is, we will have more and more integrated stuff. Lastly, to show that, I believe this is this one. You can select the app you declare. Then this is our team account. We have too much application test, but we have a few ones. I hope you can read, but you can slide all your issues, and then you can open here directly from your IDE. You can jump to an issue and go investigate on what's going on. I believe, yeah, you have issues under the end. Soon we will show that inside the IDE underlying the class that are impacted by issues, and then we can show you inside your source code where is it. Then I would say play with Koin. You already have Koin. You can activate. You can use the Koin plugin, visualize all your configuration, and then you have configuration safety check. That means that in real time, we are recompiling your stuff for you, and then we can understand if there is any missing dependency, if there is missing stuff. For now, we are covering main static usage. This is quite huge, then we are ongoing for that, and then we are covering more and more dynamic cases, then soon are coming like lazing modules. Also, Koin annotation are not yet recognized, then be sure that you will get some updates for the plugin for that. You have your visualization here, and then you have your local issues here. Once you just add analytics on your Koin setup, and then add the setup to have the Gradle dependency, you are ready to go. You will send your data as development, as production data, as you want, and then you can retrieve your issues here and begin to investigate in the tree from the platform, and then look at really where you would like to debug, what session you would like to debug. I believe I make a good turn now. We can proceed to some QA questions if people have questions.
Maybe before that, Arnaud, maybe can you show really quickly
how
that works in a KMP app, and then we open for. I'll try to be brief there, but just to illustrate what are the different configuration when you're using a KMP app. I'm not going to go through all the steps, but let me just share my screen. Hopefully you can see my Android Studio. I cannot hear you. Hopefully that's a yes.
That's good.
Okay, so just wanted to demonstrate here, using a KMP app that maybe you know as well, that is the Confetti app by John O'Reilly, also available, in open source. So you recognize here the KMP app because we have, of course, the Android version. We have the iOS app here, and we also have the shared module here with the common code that is shared between the two applications. In terms of, I'm also using here, as you can see, the Koin plugin, to have the different information about navigate the code. What I wanted to show you is, like, in terms of configuration, if you want to start also doing the same kind of investigation in terms of debugging that the one that Arnaud was showing, the configuration is really similar. So in the build Gradle file at root level, you will define the plugin, and then the difference is that rather than defining, adding the configuration of at the app level, you are going to be adding the configuration in the shared repository. So here I have at the same time the Godzilla.json file that Arnaud was mentioning, but also if we look to the build Gradle, here I'm having the declaration of the SDK. In that case, as Confetti is using Ktor 3 library, for compatibility reasons, we are using the SDK Ktor 3 library. Otherwise, by default, the SDK 1 is using the Ktor 2. And we should have, if I go up, also the definition of the plugin here. No? So the only difference is that we put that configuration in the shared code. If I'm opening here, also how we have declared this analytics, we're calling the analytics function. That's maybe also second difference compared to the traditional Android configuration, is that as we are configuring that in a KMP app, so we are starting the analytics, so we are starting the SDK as part of the initialization of Koin. Here I'm using a slightly different version than the one that Arnaud was showing. In addition to calling the function, I'm sending manually the key and the version. This is because we are able to wrap up that when we are using the Android config. But here we're also gonna launch using the iOS. So for the moment, we need to send this information that is available in the Godzilla.json manually. So only with that's the only difference. We are ready to start debugging our application. So I'm gonna do actually the same that you saw before in in the now in Android. I'm going to run the Confetti app. I don't know if you are familiar with this one. It's also, an app in which you can have a look to the different talks in different conferences and in the Kotlin ecosystem. So let me just do some interaction here. Let me just see if there was some Koin talks last year. So of course, we have here a great talk by someone that we know pretty well, Arnaud. So I'm going back. I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to just open, the other view that Arnaud was illustrating, the one about, able to detect the different issues. I'm going to do a refresh. We see here a number of issues with a number of impacting sessions. So you can see I was playing a little bit before to don't have the demo effect. So I'm going to click, for example, here. And you saw exactly the same that with the now in Android. We can see the details of this issue. In that case, there's low resolution of a child dependency here in the building. We also see the different sessions here. I'll probably click here in one that was not the latest one. So if I'm going back here, let me check that. We should get here. Oh, here it is. This is my session. So if I click on the session that I just was recorded, I have the same information that we saw before. In this case, is there's only one thread, so everything is executed on the main thread. We also have here, we're capturing here also the information about the Android screen states. You will see that when I'm running the same thing using the iOS, we will not have this information because, of course, it's not capturing the screens on iOS for the moment. And then, as we were seeing before, I'm not going to spend more time here. You can, locate the different issues and try to investigate. Same thing than the previous version. No. Let me now go back here and let's do the same but launching the iOS application. No. So let me just close those things. So for that, of course, I'm going to be using Xcode. So let me just open this app in Xcode. Let me run that. Hopefully, I was just building that before. Should be okay. So, I'm using an emulator here for iPhone 16 Pro. So it should come in a minute. That's the beauty of having both Android Studio and Xcode at the same time running. But that's going to come. Hopefully, we're going to see the exact same application, but in the iOS version. And I'm going to try to do the same kind of interaction to see the recorded session. So here we go. So I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing, looking for some interesting Koin talks here, and clicking on our favorite speaker. Then come back, and I'm going to stop here the recording. Let's see if, because of course there is some common code, but then there are specificities in terms of how the UI was built between the two apps. So maybe let's see if there is an issue, there are any additional issues or not. Doesn't look like. Let me check here. We'll see. In one of the same. So yeah, no, I'm seeing here some issues that was happening in some of the previous versions, but. What is interesting is that you can see that I have recorded here a new session just after the one with Android that is running the iOS with the iPhone 16 emulator. So if I'm clicking here, what I was mentioning here, we're not capturing yet, the different state of the screen because so far it's working on the Android. We're having the same mono-thread application, and then we can see here the exact kind of list of events, sequence of events. But in this case, this execution was super fast, so it was no, there was no issue generated. So even if we scroll this session, we don't see any issue detected. Even if we look to the same exact same resolution here, that was super fast. So in that particular case, there was no issue detected in the iOS. No, but hopefully, I think it was interesting to show you that that works also in a KMP app. And so, yeah, wanted to illustrate that with the two runs, the Android and iOS. Okay, so I think it's time for any question you may have before concluding this session. Of course, we're gonna be able to continue the discussion in the different slides. I'm going to share that just after. But if you have any question, let me check to here. I noticed a bit also your feedback about showing the warning not only in the configuration issue panel, but also directly in the code. So we share that as well. Besides of that feedback, any additional comment or questions?
You have the warning inside the configuration inside your configuration module. Then if you do something, then you will have this underline in yellow, and then have this little warning saying you missed something. You have it in your configuration tree, in your issue panel, and then inside your code. But more in your code, we will show more and more all the issues and why you block something.
Oh, so it's already available inside the editor.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the configuration safety, yes. For that, yes. And inside your module, you can see what definition is missing. Then it's yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Any other question or comment?
Perhaps while we have some, okay, let's go with Thomas then.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, so I tried the plugin in Android Studio, and I came to a new project the other day, and what they did, they had defined the Koin modules in interfaces, and they named all the modules module. So in the plugin section in my Android Studio, everything is named module. So I was wondering if there's a way to tell the plugin that it should, instead of using the property name, it should use the class name or something.
This is something that is on our roadmap to help you filter on the logical space, because you see that for now it's let's say the order of your Gradle module with app module with the Koin modules we are finding. Then it's a bit flat, and then if you don't have let's say naming that is easy to read, then yes, for now you have that, but soon we are organizing to help you have. Do you use also includes to help you
yes,
organize?
we use includes, yeah.
Then you will see more of the organization of all your modules inside, and then you will see usage of includes.
All right, cool.
But then, yeah, for now, this is something we are working around to try to cover all those cases. This is why this is super useful for us to have your feedback. I don't know if you are on Codilla Slack, but then you can continue to give us your feedback, and we can see what kind of case are needed, what sometime we don't cover, but yeah, or what is cool also. That is interesting to see how it's useful, and yeah, trying to help you understand your architecture, your structure, your issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, then I will try to post it in the Slack channel to make it more obvious. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, Samuel.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, does Koin support lazy initialization?
You mean Koin for the framework or for the IDE to detect it?
The framework, the whole thing, dependency.
The framework, then it's supporting lazy injection since the beginning. And you can do lazy injection. You can't do that directly with what we call the constructor the constructor DSL. That means single auth, view model auth. Everything is eager. That means that we retrieve directly things for you. But you can use the normal DSL and have lazy resolution. And also inside Android, when you use by inject or by view model, you are resolving things lazily. Then everything is lazy by default. We don't activate things for you then yes, everything is lazy by default, and you can really even suggest in constructor that some properties are lazy too.
Okay, thank you.
And feel free to register. I believe you can freely register. The account on Codzilla platform is free. Then as a solo dev, you have access. You can run your applications, and then you have data to play with. And then if you go to team, then if you want to share data, share your organization with team members, then you will need a plan, but then you are free to your free account that let you activate your plugin, also let you play with all the platform and the feature.
And maybe also share that if there is a dedicated documentation that has been that is up to date, doc.codzilla.io, you will find there even the the example that Arnaud was demonstrating, the now in Android. So there is the step-by-step guide about how you can reproduce those issues and how you can work kind of a dedicated demo on that particular application. No? So don't hesitate to go to the documentation, and also in the documentation you have all the links to then join the Slack channel if you need it for ask additional questions. I think we have another question.
Thomas raised the hand. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have a more general question to Koin. I'm not sure if it fits to this talk, so I could also ask it on Slack if you want.
Well, we can go. If it's a quick one, else we can answer on Slack if it's a bigger one. But
yeah,
let's go.
And let's try it. Yeah, so we are using the Android X view model in Kotlin multi-platform, and we are not sharing UI, so we don't use Compose multi-platform. And our issue is, or we actually don't know how to exactly create the view model on the iOS side. Are you guys working on something, or?
The thing is, for now, once you don't really go until full Compose multi-platform, then the lifecycle attachment is not managed, and then you need to fall back to the other KMP view model that are there. Then you can't really. You need to use I forgot the name. The KMP view model, not the Android X Compose view model stuff, where we are doing all the magic for you, but then you need to go for Compose. If you are doing Swift UI and injecting view model, then you have two things. Then either it will be called on the iOS side. You can call it directly on the iOS side. It will be factory instance, but you don't have any lifecycle, let's say, attachment. The other way to go around would be to use the KMP view model, the project, the open source project that is triggering just the view model sharing for KMP, iOS, and another way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will have a look at that one. Thank you.
Then you can try. I've seen people trying to make the instance directly like that, or even making a single with some view models. But you can inject them manually directly, pulling them with a function inside your KMP space, and then try to see if it fits your need here. Mm-hmm. Else you need to go back, to another project that do the view model for you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
David, yes, you have a question.
Yep. Wondering if the platform targets backend apps as well as Android apps, or if it's more mobile oriented.
That's a good question. For now, it's mobile oriented. We try to look at what are the usage for Koin, but yes, you see that it's oriented for UI and stuff like that. But we might have the same use case, and we have the same data in terms of performance analyze and and structure analyze and architecture analyze, then we could apply for it. But for now, we are to be transparent. We are targeting mainly the mobile space for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, maybe David also not related to backend, but we didn't have time today to demonstrate also how we can help you debug SDK libraries, because we see that there is a lot of people that are struggling. When they have different libraries that are working isolated and integrating that into the application. So you can also use the platform already for debug same kind of capabilities, but for your SDK libraries. No, so also in the documentation there is a dedicated section in addition to Android and KMP, how you can do that with SDK libraries. No, but yeah, that's not related to server side. Okay, so thank you very much. This session has been also recorded, so if you want to watch it again, we'll share with you also the link, and hopefully we're going to continue the discussion, in the Slack and the other opportunities to chat together. Thank you.